Hello. Good morning, everyone. Please give me a second, please. I'm trying to fix something. Just a minute. Morning, everyone. Good morning. Very good morning. Uh, Sorry, something went wrong. So now it looks absolutely fine. Thank you so much for keeping patience with me. And for everyone asking, how am I am a little better today. Okay. So before I start, I'll tell you a couple of things before I start off with anything. Give me a second. Good morning, everyone in the app as well. Uh, so everyone, I'm sorry I could not take classes the last 2 days. I wasn't still not really well, but ये कोशिश करते हैं आज है ना. So अभी I've taken two articles, one from Hindu and one from the Indian Express from yesterday's newspaper. Okay, and there is one more apology that I would like to make you. The last week we had started taking editorials in the form of reading comprehensions, but since you guys know I have not been keeping really well, I could not put in so much effort to convert the editorial articles into reading comprehensions. But yet I'll still explain what the reading comprehension is, the editorial is about. The moment I feel better, I'll start making those classes into reading comprehensions again. So I hope you are going to bear with me. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm much better. Yes, I'm much better, everyone. Thank you so much for asking. I hope I'm going to be fine in a couple of days. All right. So before I take you through anything, we've our Crash Course Batch 2 has recently been launched, and if you wish to target CLAT 2022, then this batch is for you. Look no further. If you're targeting CLAT 2023, then our foundation module batch 8 has been launched, but I'll be teaching as well. So if CLAT 23 is your target, then this is the batch. I would expect you to be enrolled here at the earliest. If you're targeting MHCT, ALET, SLAT, BLET, JAMIA, and these low entrance examinations, then batch 2 for these low entrance examinations has been launched. And बिकॉज इनका प्रेपरेशन थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट है क्लाट से, मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप जल्दी से इस बैच के लिए एनरोल कर लो. और अगर आपको सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है, लीगल अफेयर्स और करंट इवेंट्स पढ़ना है, सो इसके लिए एक बूस्टर कोर्स है स्पेसिफिकली वेयर निवेदिता मैम एंड अभिमन्यु आपको ये दोनों सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ाएंगे. एंड दिस इज अबाउट आवर प्रोग्राम्स. सो आज रिविजन तो करेंगे नहीं बिकॉज लास्ट क्लास फ्राइडे को हुई थी और उसके बाद बहुत दिनों तक क्लास नहीं हो पाई थी हमारी. सो रिविजन आज नहीं करेंगे वोकैबुलरी का. एंड everyone who's new to my class today, an apology. This is not how I take classes. This is not how I look. I hope you bear with me for a couple of more days. By the time I get better, we're going to take two articles and do a detailed discussion on them. We'll check out the tone of the author. You can write down the summary of the video under the video in my comment section. And in the end, we're going to look at the Hindu and Indian Express today, and we'll see what are the important articles that we need to study and what are the articles we can miss. Rishabh, I'm not well. That's the only thing. Okay, I have a bad bout of cold and fever, so that's all. No, Priyanshu. No, we did not. I wasn't well for the last 3-4 days. We did not have any classes in the last 3-4 days. Okay. All right. So revision तो नहीं करेंगे. Okay, let's start with the vocabulary from today's articles. Slide number 1. These are the articles, these are the vocabulary. I'm just so messed up today. I'm so sorry, guys. These are the vocabulary words we've taken from today's articles. The first one is bonhomie. So, bonhomie, bon is the root word here. Bon means good. I've taught you this word multiple times in my classes. So, very friendly, accommodative, congenial, and cheerful. That attitude is bonhomie. So, he exuded good humor and bonhomie. That means he exuded friendliness. That's the first word we're going to do. Okay. So, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. The next one is precept. So precept is usually a general rule or a general decree that's acceptable to regulate people's behavior. So the legal precept of being innocent until proven guilty. So that's a general rule that the law is based on. So a precept can be a general rule of how things are going to go about. It's accepted by everybody. So precept is a general rule that's accepted by everyone. Amiable, amiable, yes, Karthik, they're going to be synonyms to bonhomie. Yes, you're absolutely right. Amity, yes, Ayushi, that's also a synonym to it. Convivial, yes, Samad, that also is a synonym to it. Correct. All right. So yes, affability, bilkul correct. Next one, imminent. Imminent is something that is immediately going to happen. Immediate से ही imminent हुआ. Okay, so something that's about to happen is imminent. They were in imminent danger of being swept away. That is, immediately it was about to happen. So immediate events, imminent. Will Russia attack on Ukraine? Imminently? What do you think? What's going to happen? Okay. Webber, I have the mic. Yes, I have it. I'll keep it closer to me. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll keep it closer to me. Thank you everyone for bearing with me. Yes. Okay. All right. आगे नेक्स्ट वर्ड सटल. बहुत सटल हमने लास्ट क्लास में भी किया था. आई थिंक लास्ट वीक किया था. बहुत ही सॉफ्ट डेलिकेट तरीके से, नॉट आउटराइट. तो आपने किसी को सटल रिमार्क दिया, बहुत रूडली नहीं बोला, बहुत पोलाइट तरीके से धीरे से बोल दिया. धीरे does not mean volume. Okay, subtleness is in a very polite manner, in a very delicate manner, precise manner. So his language expresses rich and subtle meanings, not direct but indirect, delicate ones is the subtle meaning here. The next one is posit. So posit is to put forward an opinion. So posit an argument. The Confucian view posits a perfectible human nature is it puts forward, it presents. So presenting something is posit. Slide number 1, everybody take a screenshot. फाल्गुनी प्रीसेट बताती हूँ मैं. प्रीसेट होता है कोई भी एक ऐसा रूल जो नॉर्मली सब लोग एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं. एक कॉमनली एक्सेप्टेबल चीज, कॉमनली एक्सेप्टेबल रूल इज अ प्रीसेट. तो रूल क्या आप सिनोनिम बना सकते हो प्रीसेट को. ठीक है. यस ट्रासिक यू कैन से दैट. माइन्यूट मिनिमल को सटल बोल सकते हैं. यस. प्रीसाइज एंड नैरो रागिनी, यस वी कैन से दैट. ओके, लेट्स मूव ऑन. लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Slide number 2, esoteric. Esoteric होता है जो not everybody would get it. Only a small number of people would get it. That's esoteric. Okay, or probably because only a small number of people understand it, a small number of people have studied it. That is esoteric. So the party engaged in esoteric philosophical debates. That is not everybody could get it. Only a few set of people. That's esoteric. Ivory tower. That's an idiom. Ivory, very expensive. Ivory tower comes from the fact subtle precept can be a tenet. Yes, it can be Samarth. Yes. All right. Propound. Okay. Okay. The next one, ivory tower. Ivory is something that's very expensive. Okay. So ivory tower, that means is you are in a place where you are privileged. and you are far away from the hardcore realities of the world, the sufferings of the world. That's the ivory tower or ivory tower. Okay, so the Ivy League institutes are the ivory tower of the academia. They are privileged, they are selected few, and they are different from the common world. Is ivory tower. Got that idiom, everyone? Okay, all right. Haute couture, yes, Rebel, you can see that. Okay, related हो गया. Okay, moat is a deep white ditch surrounding a castle, fort, now typically filled with water to defense. So basically, this let me make a better one. This is a fort, okay? So you will probably surround the fort with a little water. It's like a ditch that you dig to fill it with water so that when the enemy attacks you, the enemy is unable to attack you here. This is going to be a moat. The moat protected the fort from the enemy. Bolster could be a synonym to it, to a moat. Yes. Uh, Abhinandan, we're going to take the quad today, QUAD. Okay. And then we're going to talk about a study from the Cambridge. One is from the Hindu, the other is from the Indian Express. Yes, Vishnu, that's the teeth of the elephant. So वो बहुत expensive होता है ना, अलग होता है, सबके पास नहीं होता है. Yes, of course, an use can be. Gulf बोल सकते हो. Yes, Rupel, आप बोल सकते हो gulf. Next one is snobbery. So snob किसको बोलते हैं? A person with an exaggerated respect of high social condition, with wealth, who seeks to associate with social superiors and looks down on people who are inferior to him. So snob is a person जिसको लगता है मैं सबसे superior हूँ और मैं उन्हीं से deal करूंगा जो मेरे level के होंगे और जो मेरे level से नीचे हैं. अब मैं उनसे deal नहीं करता, उनसे बात नहीं करता. That attitude is snobbery. Her snobbery let her family down on many many occasions. Slide number 2, बच्चे जल्दी से screenshot ले लीजिए. Okay, I'm sorry, people. I'm just not really well. Okay, slide number 3. Ponder. एक होता है ponder. Ponder is to think, brooding over something. Okay, and ponder is your heart full of indulgence into any kind of immoral act. That is pander. Newspapers are pandering to people's baser instincts. That means they are indulging over something that's not very good, not very acceptable, something that's immoral. When people indulge into immoral acts, that's pander. Okay? Then the second word, uh, yes, you notice a lot, Tanishka. अब बच्चे एक बार आपस में बातें बंद कर दो कॉलेज एंड ऑल क्योंकि मेरे लिए डिस्टर्बिंग हो रहा है आई कांट लुक एट द कमेंट्स प्राइड फॉर स्नॉब ठीक है बट रिमेंबर प्राइड एक पॉजिटिव कोनोटेशन के साथ आता है श्रेया एंड स्नॉब आता है एक नेगेटिव कोनोटेशन के साथ ठीक है नो 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 ट्रासिंग सैक्रिलेज इज नॉट पैंडर इट इज नॉट ठीक है द नेक्स्ट वन mellow so very soft not harsh smooth pleasant to hear is mellow like melody she was hypnotized by the mellow tone of his voice okay ऐसा कहाँ होता है that she was hypnotized by the mellow tone of his voice that means the voice was very soothing and not harsh that's mellow and then brooding I just used this word in the last slide did I so think deeply about something is brooding being very thoughtful is or worried sometimes that is disturbing to you is brooding she had brooded over the subject 1,000 times if she should study this subject or not that's brooding okay like marshmallows yes so you could link mellow to marshmallows or melody either of it okay all right affectedness and pretension for what word Ragini uh what word are these synonyms to Lata Mangeshkar's voice yes pensive is brooding related one not exact synonym but that's a related one ठीक है आगे चलते हैं let's start with I'm going to move a little faster today okay guys so let's start with the quad okay now you guys know that we've been a member of the quad and uh We have common interests here. But that does not mean कि हम सब मिलके क्वाड मेंबर्स मिलके एक एनिमी को अपना एनिमी बना लें. That's an assumption which a lot of people take from India's side. But India has made its stance clear that your enemy does not necessarily mean my enemy. Because my enemy certainly is not your enemy. For example, I will not name the country. Okay? So Quad it holds a value. It's a basically a combination of countries with a main idea to help each other and others as well. But enemies may be different here. The Quad remains a group of friends who share many, many things, but certainly not a common enemy. The Quad ministerial meeting in Melbourne, meant to set the stage for a meeting by the leaders of Australia, India, Japan, and the US later in Tokyo, ended with outcomes that showcased its positive agenda. आज एक बार ये सब लास्ट में करेंगे, ठीक है? एक बार आइडिया समझते हैं पैसेज का आइडिया क्या है. ओके, ब्रूड का सर, ब्रूड का मतलब होता है बैठ के सोचना, किसी चीज के बारे में बहुत ज्यादा सोचना इज ब्रूडिंग, ठीक है? यस, इट मीन्स विदाउट. ट्रासिक इट मीन्स विदाउट. हमारे पड़ोसी. हाँ, मैं हमारे पड़ोसी को ही रेफर कर रही थी, क्योंकि जब हमारे पड़ोसी उनके एनिमीज नहीं है तो उनके पड़ोसी हमारे एनिमीज कैसे हो सकते हैं, है ना? तो इसलिए जो मीटिंग हुआ टोक्यो में, उस मीटिंग का एंड में ये बोला गया दैट हमारी मीटिंग इट हैज एंडेड इन अ पॉजिटिव एजेंडा in the Indo-Pacific region. From plans to deliver more than 1 billion vaccine doses. Brilliant, brilliant. And why is it even more brilliant? Because the vaccines are India-made, the US is going to fund it, and Japanese and Australian networks will distribute it. Such a kitra beautiful example of everybody coming together to help humanity with the eradication of COVID, right? So, positive agenda? Yes, this certainly was a positive agenda. And donate another 1.3 billion doses around the world to prepare for Indo-Pacific Clean Energy Supply Chain Forum to tackle climate change. You guys know that Quad's one of the most important agendas has been controlling the climate change to come to the net zero emission. To further a Quad vision for technology governance and safe and transparent 5G system. Again, you guys know that we have been in the process of rolling out the 5G system in our country after the budget was announced. So, everybody in the Quad nations will be sharing their knowledge, vision, technology so that the rolling out of 5G system is smooth for the countries who haven't rolled it out yet, and to launch humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations. All of these are positive agendas that were followed after the Tokyo meeting. And the Quad is, in the words of the joint statement used, more effective in delivering practical support to the region. That means practical, not only theoretical कि ऐसा कर सकते हैं, ऐसा कर सकते हैं. The idea was to bring about a positive change that was a practical one. We could see the changes happening in terms of net zero, in terms of vaccination distribution, or in terms of sharing technology for 5G. All of that was good. Okay? All right. So, what happened after that? India was even able to insert a reference to fighting cross-border terrorism. So, सिर्फ इंडिया का एक रेफरेंस देना कि क्रॉस बॉर्डर टेररिज्म रोकना जरूरी है, ये भी एक कमेंडेबल चीज थी उस मीटिंग में. The bonhomie between ministers shows a growing level of comfort with the principles behind the grouping of democratic countries. Now, what can you guys tell me, why was the Quad formed at the first place? Who will tell me that? Who knows this? Let me do lesser talking. Let me ask you. Who knows why was the Quad made at the first place? Yes, why was it made at the first place? Who's going to tell me that? Yes, Rishabh, it is a synonym. Yes, it is. Why was the Quad made? Okay. So, not free Indo-Pacific. No, not free Indo-Pacific. It's a democratic grouping. Yes, it is. For security reasons of Indo-Pacific region. Yes, it is. For trade and regional support to members. Yes, absolutely. Yes. To combat China. No, 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 no. Divjot, nahi. Ye to dekho. Nah, that's wrong. Yes. to stop China from spreading its influence. देखो बच्चे, अक्षित देखो, चाइना को रोकना एक हिडन आइडिया आप बोल सकते हो, but that's not exactly why Quad was framed. Okay, that's not exactly why Quad was framed. It was basically, the idea was to make the Indo-Pacific region cruelty free. Now, cruelty could be from China and China's dominance. And of course, you know, Russia has a personal interest here. And the security and the aiding of trade of the Indo-Pacific region. So, security and the trade were the major ideas of the Quad. Now, security क्यों आता है? ये indirectly आप China से link कर सकते हो इधर. ठीक है? Got that everyone? So now that the Quad members have thus far avoided institutionalizing their grouping and that they have not militarized it. That is, हमने अपनी मिलिट्री को सब साथ में नहीं किया और हमने एक मिलिट्री का फोर्स कहीं भी यूज नहीं किया. It is to their credit, which is a remarkable thing. In addition, despite Beijing's sharp criticism, of course, Beijing is going to be criticizing it क्योंकि indirectly इस region का aim आपको पता है यहाँ दिखता है, इसका impact यहाँ दिखता है. तो Beijing criticism दे दिया grouping को कि Quad members chose not to name China directly. I told you, they don't name China directly. ये हम indirectly मानते हैं, but उन्होंने कभी भी China को directly name नहीं किया. As a joint statement spoke of ensuring a rule-based order and respect for sovereignty and building a region free from coercion. अब उन्होंने बोला हमारा एक रीजन होना चाहिए इंडो पैसिफिक जहां कोअर्शन नहीं होना चाहिए. आपको पता है हमारे इंडो पैसिफिक रीजन में एक ही कंट्री है जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल, नॉट एक, ये सबसे बड़ा कंट्री है जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है बहुत सारे ऐसे कंट्रीज जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है इस चीज के लिए. ओके, यस. Now, however, what happened after that? While the grouping is strong on all these precepts, tackling China maybe, avoiding coercion, all the positive things that were mentioned in the first page, there are obvious differences in the practice of the vision of the Indo-Pacific region and the world in general. Now, what are the differences that we see among the Quad members? There are some differences as well. There are things that we come together on, and there are things we disagree on. The situation in Myanmar is the first one, was mentioned, but External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar made it clear that while India supports the restoration of democracy in Myanmar, it does not support Western national sanctions. Now, what are these sanctions? Who's going to tell me? What are these national sanctions? Because, yes, China point is an assumption. आपने assume किया है, ये hidden assumption है. Yes. So, as I had said, all of us come together on an idea in Quad nations with the betterment of suffering in the countries of the Quad nations and the Indo-Pacific, but there are points where people disagree. The first point is Myanmar's. India disagrees to that. India says it's important to completely ensure that Myanmar has a democratically elected government. But, yes, the monetary sanctions, exactly, these are the monetary sanctions by USA. Yes, the trade barriers. So, and then also the fact that everybody says, please bring back your people from that nation. Yes? Okay. Exactly. Yes. US putting sanctions on various countries. Exactly. So, India has made its point clear that we are not in this. We will ensure that Myanmar has a democracy, but this is where not we are supporting you. The meeting took place in the shadow of the growing Russia-NATO tensions over Ukraine. अगर आपको नहीं पता है ये क्या है, बच्चे आप न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं रेगुलरली, प्लीज जाइए. आई थिंक अभिमन्यु सर ने एक वीडियो लिया था या सालिक सर ने लिया था, आई एम नॉट रियली श्योर. प्लीज वॉच the Russia-Ukraine relationship और क्या होने हो सकता है आगे. But it seemed evident Mr. Jaishankar did not share US Secretary and his assessment of an imminent invasion कि अभी हमको invade करना चाहिए. India said no, we are not going to invade. Everybody said अपने लोग वहां से वापस बुला लो. They said no. India said no, we're not going to call people back. New Delhi chose not to join the decision of the US, Japan and Australia to tell the citizens to evacuate immediately from Ukraine. No evacuation of the citizens from Ukraine, and nor was any mention of the situation allowed into the joint statement. So, India does not support US into this. Agreed, everyone? So, yes, Ragini. Yes, thank you for reminding me. So India does not support US in its decision here. India says we'll ensure that democracy is restored, but otherwise no other support. Okay. So what happens after that? Mr. Jaishankar's strong tone the next day at press conference, dominated by the questions on Russia. Obviously, कि इंडिया का क्या रिएक्शन रहेगा ये रशिया और यूक्रेन के रिलेशनशिप में, और चाइना के अमासिंग ऑफ ट्रूप्स की चाइना ट्रूप्स कलेक्ट कर रहा है एट द बॉर्डर विद इंडिया इन द लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल, जो अमासिंग ऑफ ट्रूप्स है उसके बारे में भी इंडिया ने कोई भी positive statement nahi diya hai. It's a subtle reminder to the Quad partners that while they may have similar concerns and share many core values, they do not have an identical worldview. Identical worldview इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि इंडिया पहला अग्री नहीं करता यूएस के डिसीजन से. इंडिया does not agree with US's decision that would impact Myanmar. India would not agree with Russia's decision attacking Ukraine, and the Quad remains very much a grouping that is for something but not against somebody. So for something, yes. Vaccinations, yes. 5G, yes. Net zero emission, yes. Against Myanmar, no. Against Ukraine, no. That is exactly what they've made clear here. Okay? All right. Now, since I've got approximately 100 people live right now, I again apologize. I could not make the editorials into reading comprehensions today because you can see I'm not well. And I will try to make these editorials into reading comprehension tomorrow or day after, the day I am left with some energy. I hope you understand that, and I hope you stick with me to the furthermore classes. Let's take the second article. This is a funny one. A Cambridge University study. This is from the Indian Express. There was a study that was conducted in the Cambridge University. And what was the study about? The study was about the kind of music you like. Does that define your personality? What do you think about that? The kind of music anybody likes, does that define anybody's personality? Yes or no? Let me ask a question here and then I'll tell you what the article is about. Yes, Vikas? Daily होगा classes. अगर मेरी तबीयत ठीक रही तो, but hopefully ठीक रहेगी. Okay? Yes, yes, yes. No? अच्छा. Everybody says yes. Yes to the question. तो पता है मैंने ये क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछा आपसे? मैंने ये क्वेश्चन इसलिए पूछा आपसे बिकॉज ये सबको पता है कि किस तरीके का म्यूजिक पसंद है आपको, वो कहीं ना कहीं आपकी पर्सनालिटी को दिखाता है. ठीक है, या आपकी पर्सनालिटी ही डिटरमाइन करती है कि आपको किस तरीके का म्यूजिक पसंद आता है. ठीक है, तो इसमें रॉकेट साइंस क्या है? इसमें ये व्हाट वाज द पर्पस ऑफ डूइंग दिस स्टडी देन? To a lot of extent. So the author says, oh, you probably had a lot of money, Cambridge, so you took out this study. Otherwise, there was no use of doing that because everybody knows that the kind of music you study, well, you listen to, determines your personality. So that is what the article is about. Beautifully written. Academia in all its esoteric glory, because not a lot of people are academic. So its esoteric glory can be rightfully criticized for locking itself in the ivory tower. Ivory Tower. Cambridge University is an ivory tower. You've loved yourself there, behind the moat of a jargon and gates barred with snobbery. So you say, okay, we are Cambridge kids, we are Cambridge students, we are Cambridge teachers. This is an ivory tower. Our gates are locked because we are snobbish. We would not deal with people who are inferior to us. So this line is a very, very negative one. It calls the Cambridge and people of that sort very snobbish and not being indulging and helpful to others. But there is such a thing as an overcorrection of pandering so much to the popular taste so as to become irrelevant. So he says there are things that these people do which become irrelevant completely. What do they do? A study from University of Cambridge crosses that line and it is intellectually at par with as useful as online personality quizzes. ये line पढ़ो, मुझे बताओ the tone of this line. The line that I've highlighted, what is the tone of this line? What is the tone of this line that I've highlighted? Okay, no debating, no debating. Let's tell me the tone of this line, everyone. As useful as. Tone of this line. Everyone. The meaning, okay? Others? Simile? No, tone, bache tone. Simile? Nahi, tone. It's sarcasm. Yes, Ankita, it's sarcasm. I'm not asking for the figure of speech. I'm asking for the tone. This is sarcasm. Because these Facebook personality quizzes, which Hogwarts house do you belong to? What crap is that? Which 1990s action movie which describes you? That is another crap. So this whole study that Cambridge did, was also as useful as these quizzes. These quizzes aren't useful. Their study wasn't, that smoking wasn't useful as well. Okay. So, ये कोई भी use, this is sarcasm. He is making fun of the study Cambridge did. The study, which had over 3,50,000 participants from 50 damning countries, claims that contemporary music tastes show a strong correlation with personality types. We don't know that. We do that already. Why did you waste so much money doing this survey? Between extraversion and contemporary music, between conscientious and unpretentious music, between agreeableness and mellow and unpretentious music. So basically, they had given choices, and between openness and mellow, contemporary, intense, and sophisticated music. Of course, since the bifurcations are so huge, you would easily know the personality type through the choice of music a person does across the globe. And then there are surprises, like the fact that neuroticism is associated with intense music. Surprise? No, that's not a surprise. The author uses this sarcastically again. And then there are surprises. I'm so surprised to look at this study. I never thought that neuroticism is associated with intense music. In a sense, extroverts love Ed Sheeran and Beyonce, while neurotics brood over Nirvana. कौन से लोग निर्वाणा सुनते हैं? वो लोग जो रसोल जाते हैं. तो न्यूरोटिक्स सुनते हैं निर्वाणा. ठीक है? So there was nothing new about it. There was nothing new about it. No, no, Divjot, it hasn't been done before. Okay? All right. So idea है आगे. There is evidently an excess of funds at Cambridge. बहुत पैसा है उनके पास. That's what the author is saying. That they have a lot of money. A vast survey to figure out what kind of music people are into makes sense for Apple. And see, why is he unhappy? He says what kind of music people listen to. Spotify would work on that. Apple would work on that. Amazon Music would work on that. But university? If you have money, work on the development of people. But why this? More importantly, why are researchers engaged in what barely passes the pop psychology? Why pop psychology? The author is so miffed. He's so unhappy. He is so unhappy with the whole fact that Cambridge did this study. It was bad enough that HR departments took pleasure in administering nonsense personality tests like these. Must universities descend to listicles in order to ruin the joys of music? Another negative line. What does the line mean? The line says, so Myers-Briggs, according to this author, is an HR test. When you go to an organization, there are multiple HR tests that you go through. Multiple tests. And according to the author, Myers-Briggs is a useless human resource test that is taken while hiring a person. Similarly, Cambridge also did something. Took a test to ruin the joy of music. Most importantly, Perhaps it is annoying when anyone over the age of 18 searches for the meaning of their existence in pop music. If you want to know about your personality, should you go and listen to pop music? That's not the way to identify your personality. Anybody who is at your age struggling to identify their own personality, you shouldn't go back to the kind of songs you listen to identify आपकी personality कैसी है. ये टेस्ट और इसका रिजल्ट उतना ही क्रैपी है जितने वो वाले टेस्ट थे which Hogwarts school you belong to. It's all right for research to be more down to earth, but that doesn't mean it need plumb the tests. Anyway, there's an easy way to test Cambridge correlation. Just listen to single ladies and wait to become the outgoing life of the party. So the author says instead of spending so much money, I'll tell you what to do. You want to lift your mood? Listen to all the single ladies, go to a party and make your mood lively. You don't have to check out your personality by identifying the kind of music you listen to. So, what is the tone here, everyone? हनुमान चालीसा बिल्कुल सुन सकते हो. Tone of the author, everyone. Tone. बिल्कुल sarcastic, absolutely critical and sarcastic. Absolutely. ठीक है. अच्छे बच्चे 2 दिन ना क्लास ही वीडियो ऑफ करके करेंगे. आई विल टॉक बट वीडियो ऑफ रख लेंगे. ठीक है. नहीं तो कॉन्स्टेंटली मेरे पास मैसेज आता रहता है, मैम व्हाट हैपेंड टू यू, मैम व्हाट हैपेंड टू यू. तो इसको वीडियो ऑफ करके क्लास करेंगे. ठीक है. कुछ दिन आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर a couple of things. I have a session with you on how to analyze your marks and how to make sure that you score better in your marks when you're sitting for marks, because right now the time is very crucial. I'll have that session at 4 p.m. today. Okay. So make sure you come live and attend the session. Apart from that, 12:30, I would not have a class, but I will share today's articles and let's see what are the important articles we need to read today and what are the articles we can skip from Hindu and the Indian Express. Okay. If everything goes well, I'll take a session at 4 today. Hopefully, yes. I'll come and talk to you about the problems you face in mocks and how can you make sure that you increase your scores. Make sure you come live, everyone. I'm going to share the newspaper in my background, everybody. Oops. Yes, here we go. Yes, on YT. Yes, on YouTube, this channel. Exactly this channel. It is going to be visible in an hour. It's going to be on this channel, on our YouTube channel. It's going to be visible in 1 hour. Okay? Make sure you set a reminder. YouTube CLAT channel. It has not been uploaded yet. It should be uploaded anytime sooner. Let's look at today's Hindu. क्या पढ़ाई करनी है आज हिंदू में? गेमिंग एंड बैनिंग. बिल्कुल पढ़ लो. बिल्कुल पढ़ लो. ठीक है. Midair. Yes. Yes. Very important. Oh my God. This is supremely important. I want you to read this carefully. I think I'm going to take this article tomorrow. Okay. No. Leave this. Yes. Read this. Skim करना. ये बहुत easy article है. Just skim through it. Okay. No. Don't read this. No. Don't read this. Let's come to the text and context page. Also, guys, क्योंकि when I take one mock and got 30 on 50, 75 questions as an attempt, Pita, just remember your first mock scores do not matter. What matters is that you increase your scores gradually, okay? Please identify what went wrong in the first mock And never give a mock in your mobile phone. Never do that. You will ruin your eyes. Never do that. Okay? Morning, Ashish. Why so late? श्याम, ये मिसकंसेप्शन है. मेरे अकॉर्डिंग ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए कि पहले कोर्स कंप्लीट करोगे फिर मॉक दोगे. कोर्स पता है कब कंप्लीट होगा? मई में जाके, मई 8 को जाके तब खत्म होता है कोर्स. उससे एक दिन पहले तक आपको लगेगा मुझे कुछ नहीं आता है. तब दोगे मॉक? नहीं, मॉक अभी देना, अभी. कम टू राजावत श्याम, कम टू माय क्लास इन द इवनिंग. विल टॉक अबाउट दैट. क्वेश्चन ऑन बैन ऑन दी, ठीक है. यस, ये पढ़ लेना. द फेट ऑफ अफगान रिजर्व्स. नो, योर स्किम. Captain Nemo. Leave this, okay? Let's come to the Indian Express. What are the important articles in the Indian Express? The Taliban is going to survive in power? No, leave that. India's exercise as a nation cannot be questioned. Yes, you have to read this, a lesson from Mahabharata. Bilkul pad lena. Hijab rope pe hai. South Korea has an AI version of a leading. Yes, read that. US moved to take part in Kabul's. Abhi हमने discuss किया ये चीज in the first article. Don't read this. And that's all. That's all. That's all from the Hindu and Indian Express. All of the people who've joined me right now. बच्चे लैपटॉप पे दीजिए, कंप्यूटर पे दीजिए. घर पे नहीं है तो साइबर कैफेज में जाइए या किसी से बोरो कीजिए 2 घंटे के लिए, बट मोबाइल में नहीं देते हैं. ओके? Everyone who asked me how am I'm much better. I will see you at 4 today with a session on your mocks and your strategy, and I shall come back again tomorrow with your editorial analysis. Probably my video turned off. Till the time I recuperate, thank you so much for being here, everyone. Have a very good day and God bless all of you.